In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the relationship between two different forms of a quadratic relation. So, and I'll talk about what those forms look like. So I'm going to type in here a couple of equations. Okay, so there's the first one, y equals x squared minus 7x plus 10. If I hit enter, I get to type in another one, and this is what I'm going to type. And notice that you maybe were watching the graphs change as I enter the equation. See, this is the red one. Okay, you see it now. When I click on this one, that's the blue one. They're actually the same graph. They're just in different forms. This is called standard form. We often write standard form like this. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And actually, if I make sliders here, I can make this look like this one. But you see, the a value would be 1. The b is negative 7, so if I changed b to be negative 7 here, there we go, and I want c to be 10, so I put c right over here at 10. So notice that this one is exactly lining up with the two of those as well. Okay, I made it exactly the same. So these two, let's get rid of the this one here. We don't really need that anymore. And the sliders too. So these two graphs are actually just different versions of equations of the same parabola. And in the x minus 2, x minus 5 one, notice that where it goes through the y-axis are at 2 and 5. And it isn't a coincidence that the 2 and the 5, that's x minus 2 and x minus 5. So it's actually x minus the x coordinates. So these two equations here, and actually, I've actually opened up a MathFi whiteboard, x minus 2, x minus 5, that was the second one, and x squared minus 7x plus 10. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to just expand those two binomials together. So if I multiply x by x, we get x squared. Remember, this is just FOIL. X times the negative 5 is minus 5x, and then negative 2 times x is minus 2x, and negative 2 times negative 5 is plus 10. And these are the only, maybe we'll change the colors here, like terms. So there's only one quadratic term, the x squared at the beginning. So negative 5x and negative 2x combined to give me negative 7x plus 10. And notice that this is exactly the same equation in standard form down here. So if you take this here, and this is called factored form. And factored form is just writing the standard form as a product of two factors. See, there's one factor, there's the other two. And obviously, if we expand them together, we get the standard form. So, in fact, if you remember back to, if you've done some factoring, if I wanted to factor this, I would look for two numbers that add to negative 7 and that have a sum, or sorry, product, not sum. There's my add there. A product, rid of my, of 10. And if you remember your factoring, the two numbers that add to negative 7 and have a product of 10 here are negative 2 and negative 5. And so that's why x minus 2 and x minus 5 is the factored form of this standard form. So you can expand the factored form to check to see if it looks the same as the standard form, or you could take the standard form and use some factoring to show that it's the same as the factored form. Okay, so that's the relationship between the two. In the In the next part of the activity here, you're going to be given a number of equations and asked to match them up. What standard form does this factored form go with, etc. So that's the end of this tutorial.